Liborous Oshoma, a legal practitioner, joins me live from Miami, United States of America to discuss this further. Good to see you, Liborous, and thanks as always for your time. Now, you've heard the chairman and some others. The Constitution Review Committee, Senator Ovie Omagege, has described the action of the remaining 25 states yet to act on the bills as truncating a democratic process. Speak to us on that.
You see, Sulai, thank you for this opportunity. Unfortunately, this has been the bane of our constitutional amendment, even electoral amendment. If you remember, in the last electoral amendment, what we had was a fight between the National Assembly members and the governors. So that's what we're saying, that we're really not serious as a country. We really do not mean well for ourselves. I had expected that as the elections are approaching now, this should form one of the bases of the talking points for all the candidates. We're talking about constitutional amendment. We're talking about devolution of powers. We're talking about, autonomy for even the state legislatures. We're talking about autonomy for local government. These are some of the issues that are contained therein. But yet, everything will fall on the president's head. We'll all talk about presidency, but we forget that the state governors are becoming emperors. The state house of assemblies are like an appendage of the state executive. And so that's why you find out that in some of these cases, it is the dictates of the state governors that will determine whether the state houses of assembly will sit down to consider these bills or not. If it doesn't favor the governors, and then they find a way to scuttle the process. And I completely agree with Senator Ovie Omagege that if you do not agree with the clauses, you shut it down. But to hold the bill hostage at your state level, for me, it's uncalled for and should not be encouraged. And also another suggestion I would want to make is that some of these issues should be time-bound. National Assembly should give time for which this bill should return back to them so that it doesn't look as if, oh yes, the bill can be held in perpetuity by the State House of Assembly. That also
and Liborous, let me jump in here. Before the Senate, the Deputy Senate President brought this again to the fore, many Nigerians, specifically around the 36 states, have almost forgotten that these are pending issues. How important are the states to the democratic dispensation in Nigeria at the moment?
Look, without the state and local government, there is no way you can discuss democracy and development in Nigeria. All problem, all governance, all issues that are facing our country today are local. Talk about insecurity. We're discussing state policing also now. You talk about infrastructural development. These are all local development. Where I am now, I'm at the World Trade Center in Miami. It is managed by the local government here, not even a federal government. So all of these things, you have to empower your local government and the state government to be able to provide whatever you want to call it, dividends of democracy. But in the absence of development and true governance at the state level, you'll be creating emperors, and then you run a system of government where you have the entire country as one local government and the president sits in Abuja as a local government chairman. And that's why Nigerians should be more, they should talk about this constitutional amendment much more than all of the aspiration for his president. Yes, we want a candidate that will move the nation forward. But you also need the enabling law, the fulcrum, the ground norm, which is the constitution of the country. You need a constitution that will enable that president to drive the country in the right direction. You also need a law that will empower the federating units to be able to contribute their quota, and then the federal government can begin to talk about policies and all of that. But in the absence of these amendments, you're still going to just have a behemoth called the National Assembly, a behemoth called the president, and then everything will revolve around Abuja, while the federating units will be comatose and will suffer. And that's basically what is happening now, where governors become emperor and they do not want anything to come out from the state. And it shouldn't be. We shouldn't encourage it.
Liborous Oshoma, many thanks for your time.
Always my pleasure.